looks good. Hands down, the worst intro video to any show ever.
What? Why does Tim's character there look like The Rock?
Have you seen Tim in real life lately?
I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Don't be jealous, Joe.
I am jealous. I am jealous.
Have you seen him in person lately, though?
I try to avoid him. He scares me nowadays.
Well, I guess this weekend, or not this week, next weekend, you're gonna like answer your own question about why he looks like The Rock in the video. Like, yeah. Now, my character on that, I need to go mess with the slider because I don't weigh 320 anymore, or 330 anymore. So, anyway.
Yeah,
you gotta ask him Gray.
Yeah.
Like, I'm smaller than Tim now, so that's weird.
Yeah.
I weigh less. I weigh less than Tim. How about that? How about we go with that one?
Let's not get crazy.
Yeah, I weigh less than Tim now, so it's yeah. I need to mess with the slider on that one. But yeah, 4WO shit show is live, and should I do my professional announcer voice for this? Like
You should.
Oh, so the 4WO shit show is live with Joe Perez, special guest. He is the captain of 13th Legionnaires. And what's your position at CPX?
It's a good question.
Oh,
shit. Good question.
Hey, look at that. The hard hitting questions right there. Out the
there
gate.
You go. Yeah, I mean,
didn't even give a softball.
Yeah. You know, the stock market's up. That's my answer. The stock market's up.
All right. Well,
nah. I'm the MC, the host, pretty much the go-to, you can say. So the way we break it down, Christy does. She's the mission master, so everything to do with missions, it's on her. And then Josh is the head ref, so everything to do with the reffing, Josh takes care of, and then I take care of everything else.
That sounds like more than MC though, because it sounds like a head dog there almost. If you take care of everything else.
Nah.
All
it's
right.
It's a collaborative.
All right.
A lot of moving parts, a lot of people.
Tim said he was captain of Legionnaires, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. That was actually, false information there. I mean, technically, I'm not a captain of the Legionnaires.
He's the Presidente.
I haven't been a captain for how long, Tim? Like 6 years? 5 years?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I haven't been the captain for a long time.
He's the team owner.
See, I don't know. Everybody wants to like do ranks and paintballs like differently. Every team does something differently. Like people have presidents and vice presidents, captains, and like I'm just like, yeah, I don't know what the hell we are. Like I think PBS has a Jason Man and a Flip, and that's it. That's their rank.
I mean, basically the same thing. We're just kind of like senior guys, really. I mean, as far as captains go, we're just kind of senior guys.
Yeah, they're the wranglers.
They try to get people. Yeah, we herd cats.
Yeah, it sounds about right. So I guess we can just go ahead and say what we're doing here. We're gonna. This is a Bones and Ashes preview show, and I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here, if it'll actually work now because it's doing this lazy shit. All right, man. Like I deal with Microsoft Teams all the time, so it's a little different than this thing. So I push different buttons. Microsoft Teams is the devil's invention, by the way. It's just the worst thing. Anyway, we'll skip on that. So we're talking about Bones and Ashes today and some other things. Bones and Ashes is going to be April 10th through the 12th at Outdoor. Okay, it's a lot of words to say. Outdoor Xtreme 7 Points, which is in 7 Points, Texas, which is right outside of what was it called? Kemp, Texas, which is also near Gun Barrel, Texas, which is the greatest name of any city ever made. Gun Barrel, Texas is definitely a place we need to visit. But anyway, it used to be What's Up Paintball in 7 Points. Now it's Outdoor Extreme 7 Points, and it's a CPX game called Bones and Ashes. And Joe, why don't you tell us about the game and some other stuff about the park and everything? Because I've never been to the park. I don't know if Tim has. Have you been there, Tim? See, we're new here, and so let's tell us about what the game's about and what the field's like and everything like that, and we'll go from there.
All right. So we'll start with the field. So the field is 46 and a half acres. It's mixed. About 80 to 85% of it is wooded. We have a center town that has huts. It has I don't know, about 30, 40 trailers lined up in a kind of a circle. So you kind of get the close quarters and everything in there. We have a tire field. We have just plain wooded field. We have a trench field in the back. We have a water buffalo field. You know those big water jugs. So we have a huge semi-flat field just of those, perfectly symmetrical on either side. So it's nice and even. We run the final battle there. It's really cool. So the field is great. Bunny and Spyro's been running it over there. They've been doing a lot of upgrades and cleaning it up. We have a RV parking in the front. We're actually working on getting electric RV hookups and everything. Hopefully by next year up there. We do have a dump, so guys, if they bring their RVs, they can dump their waste. We have a water hookup if they need to fill their water. When they get there, that's fine as well. We have tent camping. It's a really cool field. There's a couple of videos up, drone videos of all of it. I'm probably not doing it justice on explaining everything that's there, but it's it's a huge field. We're hoping to start hitting, you know, as the field as the event grows over there. We're hoping to put 1,000 or 1,500 players on that field. Last year, we were at a little bit under 400 for that event, and it played very well. So, it was a good game. So Bones and Ash, a lot of you guys played it before. It's still the same similar setup. We're still running three entities. The Aztec Warriors are based out of Texas, Oklahoma area, and they're the ones that play the third entity. Actually, there's a couple of headhunters that are coming out. I think Chuck and somebody else is coming out. They asked to play third entity with the guys, and then Gabriel, our California captain, will be running them. And then we changed a lot of the missions from the past, like some of those basic missions that Bones and Ash used to have. Christy added tons and tons of more missions to it. So there's a lot of missions. No, what am I seeing? You scroll there. There you go.
Yeah, I tried to find. Yeah, I was looking at some pictures of everything.
Yeah. So you see all the connexes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went to actually Google not Google. I went to Facebook and searched Outdoor Extreme 7 Points, and it pulled the page up. So yeah.
Yeah. So something that Bunny and Spyro are doing over there, teams can adopt a connex. So the local teams, if they want to adopt a Connex or a building, they come. They can paint it. It's their building. They put their logo on it. They do all their own supplies, and that's their building. Kind of gives them uh, a home, right? So there's a lot of teams out there that are really cool. They like doing stuff like that. So I think we have two Connexes adopted and a couple other teams in the works that they're supposed to start coming out to do it. So yeah, there
So
should
like
be.
the Connex, is it like for camping, like storage, or is it like the Connex is on the field?
No, that's actually the field. So the
Oh, okay.
Connexes are the town.
Gotcha.
So when you come in the corner, you're coming in and there's like big old school buses. There's a crap load of Connexes, a bunch of 53-foot trailers, and they're all lined up, uh, almost in a circle. So a lot of them you can come in one side, come out the other side, but then they're open in different areas. So you never know who's popping in or popping out. But it's there's a lot of them there. There's a video. I don't know if you can show the video if you go into the
Oh,
videos.
yeah, I got the reels right here.
I don't know
Is
if
it
it
one
was
of
a
these?
reel or not.
It's weird. It's like I'm trying to find videos. It's got photos and like it's albums. It doesn't have any like video albums though. That's
Yeah,
weird.
it might be on the post or whatever,
All right.
or on the page, but nevertheless, I'll send it to you later. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, we have a full pro shop. We have a full pro shop there. We just finished building that 6, 7 months ago. So fully stocked with everything anybody needs while they're there. So we're able to accommodate if guys need tanks. We have the full line of the Elevate tanks and regs there, all this stuff, gear, you name it, it's there.
It's like a pro shop there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the back room.
Yeah. We'll have to find a video later and post it on the page or something because yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no
a lot.
worries. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal. Uh, there's going to be, for this year, I believe we're going to have 4 food vendors set up for everybody. And then we loaned the front of the field. Like we have a front parking. It's about half an acre in the front. That's just flat grass that we're going to convert to jelly ball eventually. But we actually let a local group. They're going to do a craft show there that same weekend. So if guys are hanging out and they want to go see some, buy crafts or stuff like that, they're going to have like, I think it's something like 30 vendors there, all types of stuff. So it'll be cool. It's kind of like we're trying to make it a full 3-day weekend where you're not just hanging out, like you have actual stuff that you can do. Uh, we're still connected with What's Up. So What's Up is right next door. Uh, they have laser tag, video games, pool, um, go-karts. They got a water park. So, guys that come with their families for the weekend, the kids have stuff to do if they're not playing. Wives have stuff to do. We try to make it so you don't have to leave the place. So it's been really cool over there, though.
Yeah.
So
But they have
It's definitely
for
something.
some of the. Go ahead.
I said that's definitely something other parks don't do. Yeah. It's definitely because there's a lot of times people that aren't playing just get stuck in camp doing nothing.
Yeah, yeah, and so there's like all the years of playing and doing stuff. It's kind of like okay, you know, what else can we add to it? What else can we give everybody that's coming out that doesn't play paintball but comes out to support their spouse or their parents or their kids or whatever? Uh, so it's been an adventure over there, but you guys are gonna love the field. Like it's flat, ain't a bunch of hills and mountains to be climbing up and down. Um, so yeah, and it actually has the whole field was built with tank roads, so you can literally fit any size, pretty much any size tank you want uh, through those roads. and we have a bunch of bridges in the back that they go over, steel bridges, the whole 9 yards. There's a huge gully in the back that we try not to have people play in, but certain parts of it, players. But yeah, there's tank routes, so it's great for tanks. It's not like the tanks are able to, like certain fields, the tanks come off the road and they're like 5 feet from a bunker. They're not able to do that at this field because there's a designated road, so it kind of keeps them on the outskirts, and it gives them they have an entrance on either side, so they can come in and then come back out or go back in the other side. So that's really cool. Uh, as for the event itself, something that we changed when we took over CPX, uh, you know, like I said it earlier, we're a collaborative. So there's 5 of us that all collaborate on everything and go over different ideas and changes that we want to do so we can, you know, get all the pros and cons out before we do it. So one of the things we did is we created a mission tent that Christy runs, and that's like Christy's pride and joy is that mission tent. She spends months and months getting stuff together in it, and I'm sure you guys probably saw some of the videos we have up from other events. But every event is the mission tent is themed to that event, and then what we do is the generals have their missions that normal paintball stuff they get at top of every hour, and then on top of those missions, we have flag missions going on that get posted in the tent every hour. So every hour there'll be 2 flag stations that'll go up, and those are worth points for that hour, and they just keep changing every hour. So so the guys that don't want to do missions, they got flag based stuff, so they're just running and shooting, right? And then on top of that, what we found from experience and playing, and I'm sure you guys know just as much as I do. When it comes down to missions, there's a lot of new guys and not a new teams and stuff like that that want to do missions, but they're not part of the in crowd, right? They don't know the generals, they don't know the XOs, so it's like they don't know who to talk to do missions. So what we did was we created mini missions. So during the event, uh, every hour each side gets 8 mini missions that they're able to come pick. So Christy has a huge wall. She normally makes about 200 mini missions for the weekend. And then, any player, the generals and XOs are excluded. They're not allowed to touch the mini missions. They're not allowed to do them. They're not allowed to be involved with them. The Anybody else playing can just walk into the tent and ask for a mini mission, and they just pick one off the wall, and whatever that mission is, that's what they got to do for points. And then we have a section just for kids, so that way we've had great feedback from the kids. There's been a lot of kids that come with their parents and they'll play for a little while, get shot, and then they don't want to go back out, and they spend the rest of the weekend in a tent doing missions and having fun. So they get their own missions, and then the mini missions we break them up like Jeopardy. So there's like 5 different categories. So if it's, if you're a smart guy and you want to do quizzes, then there's quiz missions, there's puzzle missions, there's all types of stuff. But there's we pretty much made it so there's no one way to win the game. So for some, Tim knows my MO, right? Take the field, control the field, and you win. All right. And you can't do that with our games anymore. Like you can take the whole field and just control the field. Well, if the other team is out there doing mini missions, well, the mini missions, you can get enough points where you can, rival the points on the field. And not without giving point stuff away, it is there is enough points on there where you have to be on the field, right? Like you can't just say, okay, well, I'm not going to be on the field. I'll just win off the field. Like you'll still end up losing if you were to do that. But it eliminates that chance of, okay, well, my guys got on the field late, so now I don't have enough real estate. and I'm losing. I lost points for the first 3 hours of the game, right? Well, those points you lost in that 3 hours, you could have been making them up with mini missions. You could have been making them up with flag stations. You could have been making them up with all types of other things that we have going on to accumulate mission points. So it keeps everybody involved, and it also makes the commanders. The commanders got to make sure they're sending guys to go do mini missions, because if they have nobody doing mini missions, they're giving away points. They got to make sure they're getting the flag station points. They got to make sure they're doing their missions. Um, so it isn't. We made our events to the point where a lazy general will lose. You know what I mean? Like you can't be lazy. You can't sit in the parking lot and think you're going to command this event from the parking lot. It just won't happen. There's too many moving parts. So from the players' standpoint, we've been getting a lot of good feedback from the changes we've done in a lot of the events. So it's been an adventure to say the least on seeing it. Uh, yeah, yeah. So
That's cool. I mean, I know that's something we tried to do at the North Carolina Virginia game. Was people were always, like you had said before, they weren't in the in crowd, but they still wanted to be active and do things. So that's we came up with the QR code stuff. They could just go and scan it and have a mission right there. But yeah, that's cool, man. Just getting more people involved. Be able to score points, being part of the team,
yeah,
being part of the
yeah,
whole game at the end. That's cool. I like that.
The
yeah,
best
and
part
that's
the best part about North Carolina versus Virginia, though, that every game producer should incorporate into their game was the fact that like the producer went out in the field and like let you shoot him. Well, it didn't really let you shoot him. You shot him anyway. But it was just, but that was my favorite part of any game ever. Just shooting producers. It's great. Like that. So I mean you should probably keep that in mind, Joe. Just walk out in the field, act like you're dropping some props or something, just so we can shoot you. That'd be great.
so here goes something funny, right? Because you said that. I haven't really played paintball, like actually played, for probably over a year, right? Since everything kicked off with CPX, between traveling for all those, because we added more CPX events and we spread them out, right? And we'll talk about that later. But so between that and I'm not. Some people know, some people don't. I own my own business, right? So work, work, and work, because it's all work. I don't have a whole lot of time to play. So when we were in South Carolina, uh, the guys from Bearded Works and Ed and all those guys, they're heavy pumpers down there. Those, and they're not like LARPer pumpers. They are aggressive guys, and I've known a lot of them for a lot of years. And they I don't want to say made me play, because they twisted my arm. It was really hard, but they got me to go out and play pump for MagFed night, because I let the pump players pay MagFed. Because at the end of the day, 10 round tube, MagFed, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, guys want to play. So they actually got me to play it. And I got to tell you, it was the best time I've had in fucking years playing, just relaxing. Um, but I made a vow that every CPX event, I'm playing MagFed. So Friday night, you get the chance to shoot me if you want. I might have my MagFed, might have my pump, but that's the only night that I actually can go out, play this, that, the other. Um, but yeah, every CPX event, you have more than enough chance to shoot me.
Nice.
Yeah, get some pumps, Ben. Need some
Huh?
pumps by Friday.
You want me to bring you an extra one? I might be able to throw an extra one in the bag.
Throw an extra one in the bag, Joe.
I got you.
I
I
had a
got you. I'll send you some pictures. You can pick which one you want.
I had a pump for like a week one time back in the day. Like I was like at a game trying to get on the front line with a pump, and I got hit in the throat with a first strike. I'm like, nope, not doing this again. So I went back and just changed back to my gun forever.
Oh, that's how it
It
started,
was,
man. Had old what ACI tracer pump or something like that. Buddy had an old hammer
Mm.
pump. Yeah, we
I,
all had
I
pumps today.
I still got a
Yeah.
couple of those sitting on the table.
Oh man, I don't
I
think
got
there's
some
even a way to adjust
PMIs, some tracers.
I don't think there's a way to even adjust velocity.
I bought a black magic pump, and the first thing I did was like I sent it to Ping Ken in California. I was like, get rid of this pump for me. Like make it good again. Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah, he's
I got
a
my
wizard.
yeah he definitely did a good job for me, and he didn't charge a lot either. So it was great. Like all I had to do was buy the parts, and pretty much I think he milled the feed neck and everything for me, and just didn't really charge me much at all. I'm like, okay, like, you sure you don't want more money?
Yeah, nah.
Well, you had touched on basically y'all expanded, CPX expanded in some other like Canada and Mexico and stuff like that. Let's talk about those games because the last year was your first time doing those?
Yeah. So, which actually it is the perfect segue, right? Perfect segue. Um,
You're welcome.
should we start? I'm trying to figure out where do you want to start with the events? Should we start at the beginning of the year or where we're at now and work all the way around the circle?
Yeah, tell us what the new CPX year looks like, Joe.
All right, so we're gonna start with the January year. So this year, and we
January.
haven't, we haven't put the press release out yet. So you guys are hearing it first, and it's coming out first on this show. When we put the South Carolina game, that's our first event of the year. So what we did is we have a Legends event we call Urban Legends, and it was meant for us to do Urban Legends at smaller fields and be like 150, 200 player game at local fields. And every 2 years, moving that event to another field. That way, that little field now, they got an event, they can keep running with it, change the name, whatever, but they got people coming and then we'll go somewhere else and we'll do it again and again. And we're able to go across the country everywhere and kind of touch the base with the smaller events and and see players that can't make the big events so they can get a taste of what CPX is, right? And basically we're delivering the event to you in your area so you can attend it. And then you can attend it for 2 years. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And then we move it to another field. So this year, South Carolina was our first year at that field. And I fucked up. uh we looked at the schedule, we looked at our schedule and everything, and we didn't realize what was going on in that area, and we forgot about Pete's game. Like, I totally missed Pete's North versus South game. And I felt bad.
Come on.
So, huh?
Come on.
No, I'm serious. I love Pete. Pete's super cool. Don't get it fucked up. There's some people in North Carolina that I ain't got no love for. I mean, we there ain't no secrets. But
Okay.
Pete's
It
not.
slipped your mind. Got it. Okay.
Pete, huh?
I said it slipped your mind. All right.
Yeah, no, seriously, heart attack. I never looked at Pete's game. Pete's game is small, right?
Not
And
really.
it's only.
Well
I
attended,
think
but
it was.
smaller field.
Yeah,
I think
it's.
the last year, this year it snowed, but the year before that was like 476 players. That's not small for a 1 day game.
No, I've never heard that number. The
Yeah.
last time I heard about that event, it was like 150 to 225 players.
The year I went, by the way, I got MVP that year and we won. So anyway, it was like 476 people, and he's like, and they were like, they had to cap the registration in the next year because any more than that's gonna just be ridiculous on that field. Like, it'd be like
Yeah,
playing.
yeah.
Yeah, it actually, it's probably the biggest 1 day game I've ever been to. Like, normally you don't get his numbers except for like 2 day games, but that game, like, I don't know where it came from, but that game got a following. Like, it was out of nowhere. When it used to be at Command Decisions, I think Command Decisions, it was like 150 player game, but when it moved to Palmetto, it blew up. It blew up big time.
Okay.
I think this year they had like 400 registrations, but like it snowed and still 200 people showed up in the snow, which is just wild.
And people, go ahead.
Yeah, South Carolina roads in the snow suck. So if you're braving snowy roads in South Carolina to play a paintball game, it must be something decent.
Everybody I talked to that went, they loved it. They loved the playing in the snow. we're used to it in the north. Like that's just regular winter. You know what I mean? We play in the snow in the regular. You know, not
We don't.
anymore. I'm too old for that bullshit. But yeah, everybody that went had a great time that I know of. The guys I talked to and everything. And like I said, I got mad love for Pete. I never want to step on his toes, or some people. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but some people I care less about than others. You know what I mean? But yeah, so when we put that date on there, we were just looking at our schedule and the big events, and we just overlooked it, dude. So I felt bad about it, but nevertheless, we had good attendance. The South Carolina boys, they had a great time. So what we did is for next year, we actually are pushing that game back 2 weeks. So next year, that game is going to be the weekend of the 20th. I think it's like the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So it's going to have a different date. Uh, Hopefully, it's far enough away from his event. I think we ended up doing like 3.5, 4 weeks or something like that, like 3 or 4 weeks away from his event. That way, we don't impede in his clientele and everything like that. And you know, that way everybody can eat. So
Yep.
we are moving that date. Um, and we're making it a permanent event. So originally that was supposed to be an urban legend, and it was an urban legend. Now we are rebranding that one, and it is going to be our Dead Legends event. So we have a couple of events that like the Dead Legends originally was supposed to be in California, and there was a lot of political stuff, not paintball politics, but actual government politics that we weren't aware of, and restrictions and all types of shit over in California that kind of caused a lot of issues for that event that we're going to run out there. And basically it made it so we can only have like a 4-hour event on Friday and a 4-hour event on Saturday from specific hours. And
Mm.
it was just really weird. And all the permit, everything we had to do was just it wasn't a good situation at the end of the day. So we're taking Dead Legends and we're gonna put that one in South Carolina, and then we're gonna be looking for a new field to do another Urban Legends event somewhere else. Another small field, like I said, 150, 200 player game. Uh, we're probably looking like something like June or something like that, or s- somewhere somewhere in the country where there's not an event going on that weekend, if
Mhm.
that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that's the beginning of the year. So mid-February is the start. Um, and then we, we did North versus South this year. Uh, we won't be doing North versus South next year. That was an Urban Legends event, so that's going to go away because moving the South Carolina event over puts them two on top of each other. So
Mm.
instead of us being greedy, like everybody says, uh, um, we don't want to stomp out the same, have two events in the same market. Like
Yeah.
it isn't fair to the players, it isn't fair to the industry, and it's just a greedy thing just to have a bunch of events right on top of each other in the same area. So we we're gonna move that event and rebrand it another urban legend event somewhere else. Depending on the field, once we go and we find a new field for next year and a new date, when we talk to the owners and everything and kind of get a lay of the land on what the field is about, we'll get an urban legends name for that one. Kind of like we did with the North versus South. We came to Tim. We know Tim had a great event. We know he had the great idea with that North versus South. We asked his permission, and we originally were supposed to have that one at the same field, but we all know what happened there. So
Yeah. Half the
yeah,
field disappeared.
90% of the field.
And 90% of the field got logged out. Yeah.
Yeah, I walked in the front of the
Don't
field and
worry.
I saw the
I
back
think
of the
another game
field.
will pop up next year.
Huh?
I said, I think another game will pop up next year, Thomas. Tom Shipley was asking about you running north or south again. Virginia.
Yeah, I saw you had posted about bringing your North versus South back.
It's North Carolina
Yeah.
versus Virginia, but
Yeah. I know you put it that way. Same thing though. You know what I mean? Like
Virginia's not in the north.
whatever you would call.
That was the capital of the South, Joe.
North
All right,
Carolina
all
versus
right.
Hoosiers. Like what?
Me and history aren't good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a New Jersey
I'm
public school
sorry.
education. I don't blame you. Not your fault.
If you need games in Virginia, then Virginia players need to show up to games that are in Virginia.
Hey, man.
Yeah. We had a pretty good we had a pretty good showing for ours, and it wasn't bad.
Was it Virginia players or mostly players from different states that came into Virginia because Virginia's too scared to play anything but airsoft?
No. We had Virginia players there. We had a lot of Virginia players, and we had a couple of Carolina guys. We had some guys from the north, from Maryland and stuff like that came down.
Yeah,
But I think the large amount was Virginia, that area, and
probably.
it was a good event. Like the field was awesome, and you know we might do another event there at that field. It might just be a different date, and just move it to an open, some when nothing else is going on around it, which we all know it's really hard.
Yeah.
The calendars get so crowded.
Like the 1 year Gangsters Paradise, North versus South, and the other game that was better than both of them. All three of them were like 2 weeks of each other.
Oh, that lame ass single day event at Greensboro or whatever.
Look, that game was the best game ever. Look, don't worry. I'm not dying this time.
All of them. Whatever.
I'm not dying of staph infection this time, so the game this year is going to be a lot better. And Joe just disappeared on us again.
Yeah, it's okay.
So we'll kill time until he gets back because I think it's just where he's at right now. But no, I'm not dying this time, so the game's going to be better. I think it'd be great. Like when your producer's not dying,
like lame single day events at Greensboro. Let's talk about your game. Oh no, hey, Joe's back.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So we got that going on, and then obviously we got Bones and Ash in April.
Right.
Then we have the flagship Living Legends in May at Hell Survivors. Something we did different for that game, and we changed up, and it's really good for that field, right? Because it's field specific to that field. If you ever been to Hell Survivors, they have what's called the grinder, and it's basically a small section in front of the field. It's all hyperpipe field, and you can they usually have the final battle there, but we shut that part down for our Living Legends event. So what we do is we brought back a little bit of the original history of CPX, and we brought back Legion battles. So the guys that used to go to CPX when it was originally at CPX remember the Legion battles, and they basically were, you had at the top of the hour, Legion A had to go meet Legion B at the car field, and it was only those two legions there, and they would fight it out. All right. And they would get points. Whatever legion won, you won points. So it gave the legions a little more purpose, right? It gave the legion commanders more reason to recruit killers for their squad, right? Because, you want some balls.
I never understood what that whole Legion commanders was, because you'd have the main commander, then 4 or 5 Legion commanders. I'm like, when I went, I was like, what the hell does that even mean? Because we were just all on the field. I didn't understand that. So okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and that's what the thing. Like, there was a lot of things that over the years just kind of disappeared from CPX, right? For a number of reasons, field layout, whatever, this, that, the other. But there was a lot of elements that got taken away slowly, right? And that's kind of the beauty of, having myself, that I attended the original Living Legends events when Viper used to run them, and Frog that attended them. And, we reached out to a lot of OG CPX commanders from when it was at CPX to get information, to get stuff like that from when they were there, when they did it, um, to bring that back, to bring that what made that game a legend. You know, we wanted to bring all that stuff back because you hit the nail on the head, right? You got a general, an XO, four Legion commanders, and the Legion commanders aren't doing. I don't want to say they're not doing anything, but they don't have a purpose, right? They're you know when when I commanded Living Legends, if you remember, I broke all the Legion commanders into squads, into zones, and used them that way, right? That's the way they used to be used when it was at CPX. When I ran a Legion at CPX, the original one, you were designated a zone. Your Legion had a certain zone, and that was your zone and stuff like that. So we wanted to bring stuff like that back, and it allows the Legion commanders a chance to start commanding and understand the ins and outs of commanding the event at a lower end. So you're not commanding 600, 800 players, you're commanding 120 players, right? you know
Right.
so it gives you that learning experience to figure out if that's what you want to do. So for Michigan, that grinder, we brought back the Legion battles there. So everybody gets the schedule. Each Legion fights twice. Um, so you're designated, you get there, you set up on either side, and then basically you have a half-hour Legion battle, which is like a half-hour final battle, but just with the two Legions. And then what we did is we capped it off at I think we did 30 players, 30, no, 40. I think we capped it off at 40 players per Legion. So until every Legion makes 40. So, Legion A hits 40, but Legion B only has 5 players. Well, Legion A, their registration shuts down and nobody else can register for that Legion until Legion B reaches 40. And then make sure all the legions reach that 40, and then they all open back up again, so guys can start registering, and it helps us keep the game even. So you're not having, you know, 10 Legion guys against 40 Legion guys, right? Uh, so you have that there, and then the minute that Legion battle finishes, all the legions get off the field, and then we have a 5-man tournament there. So any player from each side, 5-man speedball tournament for points. So they jump right on 10 minutes later, and it's best 2 out of 3. Boom, and then it starts over again. So last year, guys, dude, these bunkers were dripping orange. Once guys figured out the rhythm and what was going on, we had speedballers that they just sat there waiting for the 5-man. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what they did all weekend long, was just speedball. And again, like, we want to give every type of player an opportunity to have something that they like to do there. So the speedball players got something, the shooters got something, the flag guys, the mission guys, the kids, and everybody's able to do something. Everybody's involved in the event. So yeah. So we did that for Legends. Legends is the only one we do the Legion battles. A lot of guys, if they follow CPX, they would have noticed that we got rid of only Bones and Ash. No, actually, Bones and Ash doesn't have a Legion anymore. Um, I think we eliminated them out of all the events uh, because they weren't necessary. You got a 300-player game. Why do you have a general, 2 XOs, and a Legion commander for 300 players? Like,
I don't I don't remember any other events having that.
yeah, they had them
Or
at
was it split?
Endless. Endless was the biggest headache. Endless was the biggest headache when we took it away. Everybody wanted to argue about it because everybody wanted, and it wasn't. I don't want to say legitimate, right? It wasn't the. How do you do it? People were like, oh no, Endless has two XOs. No, no, they didn't have two XOs. They had one XO. They had a Legion Commander. And then they're, oh, well, we had two Legion Commanders. No, you called somebody a Legion Commander. You called another person an XO, but they weren't actually the XO, right? It's kind of like Super Game. Super Game doesn't have XOs, but every Super Game commander that goes up there goes, oh, I got an XO. Okay, well, you can call him whatever you want. He's not an XO on paper. He's
Right.
he's your right hand man. Great, he's helping you. Great,
He can run the tech.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but he's not an XO.
Hmm.
So yeah. So we got rid of all that. So we have it at Michigan. Legends is the only one that has the Legion commanders, and we do the Legion battles and all that stuff. And then from there, it's that April, May, June. We don't have an event. We originally had California, but we're not bringing that back. July, we don't have an event. Uh, then we got August. No, September. September comes in. We got uh, Dreaded down in Florida.
Right.
It's over at Desi's field. Desi built a freaking pirate ship and this, that, the other. It's we all know Desi, above and
Right up the
beyond.
valley. Right up
Yeah,
the valley.
yeah. And the Florida guys come out in droves, which I am still looking for a Florida commander. I am looking for a commander for Dreaded Legends.
Ben
Anybody
Painter.
interested? Hit me up.
Flip
So we
Wilson.
have that. There you go. Yeah, I'll take Flip. I reached out to Flip. Flip. I think blocked my calls. I reached out to Flip a while back, and he doesn't call me back.
Yeah,
I don't think Flip loves me anymore.
Flip's on that right now. Like he's hard to get hold of right now.
Yeah, I know. Shit happens. People, I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, so you got Dreaded in September, and then 2 weeks after that, we have Canadian Legends. So another great field. It's flat as a board, no hills. Like I think the biggest hill in the back of the field is like walking up 2 steps. Um, but nice open land. They got some really, it's really well manicured and well run. Um, they have this castle structure in the middle of the field that has the concrete tubes, those big, 6, 8 foot concrete tubes, uh, underground, where you can breach the castle walls through those tunnels. Dude, it's a literal death trap. Like I looked at that, and for me as a player, I was like, if I see you coming through that thing, I am putting 2 or 3 pods in you, just on GP. Like it's a scary thing. But during the event, the guys that knew, they went through it. Like I think Wolf put a video up on it. I put some pictures up on it, but these guys went through it. No fear whatsoever. They were just popping out, just running it.
Jesus.
But yeah, yeah. For the field owners, they run a food shack there for all the players. Uh, we're doing Sean from Intensity. He's doing the players party this year. He's running the cornhole players party, all that stuff for Canada Legends. It's gonna be super cool for that. Like he he did a non-official player party last year that was really fun, and this year he's gonna do an official one. That game is Super Troopers themed. Yeah.
They
So,
chugging maple syrup.
huh? Yep,
They're trying to
yep.
chug a maple syrup. Who could drink maple syrup the best?
Yep. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, dude.
Yeah, I think
If you think about the stuff in that video, uh, it's coming out.
that sounds like a big painter game.
Um, yeah, dude,
Every time,
it's su
every time I hear Super Troopers, I think of Starship Troopers. I was like,
yeah,
giant
and
bugs. Like,
That's
with giant bugs.
two way different movies, but okay.
we'll let them slide. We'll let them slide.
Yeah.
But the Super Troopers 3 is coming out like a couple of weeks before the event. Before the event, there's a Super Troopers 3 coming out, so that'll be cool. Yeah, if we have enough time, maybe we'll put some stuff from Super Troopers 3 into the event, but we'll see how that works out. Because like I said, Christy's working on missions for that event. She usually will start right around after Legends. She'll start doing the missions for that event. She'll do that like Dreaded. She'll have Dreaded probably half to three quarters of the way done before Legends is done, and then she'll jump right into that and start doing it because like she shops for props. We don't like, dude, the props that she finds, the the stuff that she adds to it, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy the amount of stuff that she finds for these events that correlate to the event. Everything down to she gets dressed up and she's in full costume. Whatever the event is, she's in full costume for that event. So yeah. So you got Super Troopers. We got custom. We got custom tech tees coming out that for Super Troopers that the players can order. Um, and then we got a couple other things that we're not going to talk about that is going to pop up for Super Troopers at the event. Uh, just some shenanigans stuff. Again, we want to make the games more fun. You know what I mean? We want guys to come, hang out, play, but also like enjoy being with the other paintballers, right? Not just come and leave. Um, so yeah, so you got that, and then we have Endless Legends in Maryland in October,
Mhm.
and then we were supposed to have uh Mexico in like November, December, and make it like a vacation destination game where again it's not hard to get to Mexico. It's not overly expensive. We reached out to a bunch of fields. We were getting feedback and this, that, the other, but we were trying to find somewhere where there was a hotel close enough to the field where everybody that came can stay at the hotel and they didn't have to travel far. And then we were getting a lot of safety concerns. People were worried about going to Mexico for different reasons and stuff like that. So, we kind of just we put a pin in it until we figured out the logistics, right? Because the other part of it that people don't think about, and it's the business aspect of these events, right? So Canada Legends was a prime example. We had to hire an outside company to handle the finances there for us, right? So that's a cost, right?
Right.
And then when you get there, there's a transfer rate, right? They have loonies and toonies, right? And we have dollars. Yeah, yeah, dude. I was dying, right? I was like, no, that's what it's called. I was like, oh shit. Um, but so now at the event, we had to have an extra person working. So if you were paying with Canadian money, you had to get in this line, right? And she took care of you. If you were paying with American money, we took care of you on this side. So, what I mean, we get the transfer rates and everything right.
Mhm.
Um, so, we were gonna have a similar situation in Mexico. Now, mind you, Barno and Christy did a phenomenal job, figuring out the legalese and logistics of that stuff. And the paperwork we had a lot of paperwork for Canada, dude. They didn't want to let me in the country. I sat at the border for 45 minutes.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, try. But yeah, so we are gonna have similar situation in Mexico. So Mexico really doesn't look like it's going to happen in the next year or two,
Right.
unless something really pops up. But again, when they give you lemons, you make lemonade, right? Uh, we are actively in talks with a couple of fields in Puerto Rico, which is a territory of the U.S.
That's right.
You know, no passport needed.
Or
Airfare's cheap.
there's always Guam.
There's always Guam, right? Air. I don't think there's a paintball field there. I would be. I'm interested to look up. You know what I mean? Like we looked up some weird places, but
Everybody forgets
you know,
Guam, man.
dude, I will throw a paintball event anywhere people want one at. You know what I mean? Like if we get enough interest in an area to have an event, we will put it there. And that was the reason we did South Carolina. You know what I mean? The guys was like, yo, we want an event here. We want, and that field originally was the field we were going to put Bones and Ash at. Um, and it just wasn't big enough. And they had like I think it was a pond or whatever in the middle. So it kind of played weird. Um, but now that, well, when it became an OX park, the they got rid of that centerpiece, so it played better. They did a bunch of renovations. Frog's been constantly working on it, so the field played a little bit bigger, and it was able to hold, an Urban Legends event. So it'll hold 500, 700 players easy. Um, so we think for that event, 400 players is probably going to be the cap, if that we're going to have, like, that we want at that event. Anything more than 400 players at that event, I think it's just going to be too tight, and then it's not fun for players, right? It just becomes a shit show. But yeah. So like I was saying,
The
we're
show.
oh shit. um, we're actively looking at Puerto Rico. Uh, there's some great fields over there. The owners are super cool. They're responsive, um, and you don't need a passport. Super, cheap and easy flights from just about anywhere to get there. Good weather, a lot of tourist stuff you can do with the rainforest and the beaches and everything. Tons and tons of Airbnbs out there. So, guys can all chip in on Airbnbs for cheap stay. Um, and it's a beautiful island. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, it's nothing like a paintball vacation, right? So once we finalize that, we'll put it out there, when we're gonna have it. But that's what we're working on for the future of the playcation event, as we call it. So, that look keep your eye out for that event. It's probably going to be sometime in like the winter time or something like that, when it's cold over here but it's warm over there.
Yeah.
Uh, so those are, I think those are all the events. Did I miss any of
Oh,
them?
I
I
don't
think
think
so.
so.
I wasn't
I
following
do.
along with the checkbox or
I,
anything. So.
I do want to say that I just googled if there were any legends that came from Canada, and it said zero results found. And then I googled also, is anything ever good come from Canada? It also said zero results found. I mean, it's just Google's that answers right now.
Yeah. What did what the Putang, I think it's called. It's
Poutine is the
poutine,
only
poutine.
the only good thing that comes from the north. Like
Yeah.
put put bread in mashed potatoes and gravy. Like it's something. It sounds like something we would do down here. But yeah, I haven't had it since I traveled up there one time. Like I've been to Canada once back in the day when I was a kid, and like that's the best thing I ever had. Like it's a weird
Yeah,
name, but it's so good.
I was good. I passed on that one. I was good on the maple syrup. I was good on the higher level alcohol, you know, stuff like that. But the poutine, I'm good on. But
Tim would
talking
die if he
about
ate it.
Canada, so one of the cool things for Canada, that the owners of the field are doing for next year, he is coordinating with a place that rents RVs up there, and he's going to rent a bunch of RVs to have at the field that people can come basically rent. So like if guys are coming up, you don't have to coordinate and look for somebody and all this stuff. You hit Greg at Adrenaline up and say, hey, I want to rent an RV, this, that, the other. He's gonna have them. He's gonna have them all set up. He talked to the guy about getting them dumped. So he gets the flat rate dump fee to make things cheaper for everybody, and kind of work that out so people have places to stay other than camping on the ground. They can camp in RVs because everything's kind of like half hour, 35 minutes away. Like any hotel you get or stuff like that, it's a little bit of a little bit of a hike. So he's
How's
doing that.
how's crossing the border with a paintball gun work out? Is it because I know Canadians are weird
It was
about guns and everything.
yeah, and that was what kept me at the border because they were like, "Do you own guns?" I was like, "Yeah," and they were like, "Do you have any with you?" I was like, "No." They were like, "Are you legally allowed to carry them?" I was like, "Yes." So they yanked me over. And they searched for the guns. They were like, "You stinking Americans." Um, but yeah, as long as you don't use the G word, you're good. We
It's a
actually, I did
marker.
have, yeah, yeah. I did have my wife's marker in the RV and stuff. So you know, they looked at it. They just kept it moving. They didn't bother anything with it. So yeah, the marker situation wasn't bad.
Apparently, Canadians invented instant mashed potatoes. So we learned something.
Nice.
Hey, I'm sure they invented a lot of shit.
I think
There,
we a few years ago we were invited to a game in Mexico, and I forgot where it was, but like the guy that set it up for us, he's like, "Yeah, we're going to drive to the Texas border from North Carolina, and we're going to leave our vehicles at the border, and then we're going to cross over to Mexico on our feet because like it's easier to cross the border walking." He's like, and then when we get to the other side of the border, some guys are going to pick us up and drive us to the field. And I was like, yeah, no, no. I was like, this
yeah,
does
that
not
don't.
sound like
You would have never came back.
no.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, what field are they at? Have you talked? Do you know them? I was like, are they legit paintball players or are they with the cartel? Like, I don't. This sounds shady as hell. But it's like, yeah, all 10 of us just drive down there and we'll leave our cars at the border. I'm like, yeah, our cars will never come back this way if we do that shit.
you,
Yeah,
you come
it was
back to your car, it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. They
if we
clone
were
up.
able to come back to our cars. I
Yeah,
figure jumping in a car for somebody in a different country that you don't know and probably don't speak the same language is not the best idea ever. And this is
I do
before
it.
like,
I do it every time I leave the country. You jump in
well,
that taxi cab.
now we got like you can put your iPod, AirPods, whatever in. You can put this in. It translates. Your phone translates. It's easy now, but like back then, no.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
rough.
no, you're absolutely right.
Here.
Like you're
So
asking
you,
for.
you touched on. I'm sorry. I was still going to ask questions, but go ahead, Ben. We'll
Go ahead.
talk about
Go,
this.
go, go.
So you touched on. You were talking about California, that it was weird dealing with them, and then of course with California. How different is just running games in like different states? Is it any different from like East Coast, West Coast, or anything like that?
Yeah, yeah, and it's the player base, right? So
Mhm.
we every state and every market or whatever you want to word it, you have different taxes. We got to pay different taxes for this and different taxes for that. That I don't want to say that's the easy stuff, but that's the common stuff, right? The logistics of making sure we're getting the paint when we were supposed to and all that stuff. That's the basic stuff. Barno been doing that shit for 35 years. He knows that inside and out, right? The player base is different everywhere you go, and we all know you go down North Carolina, the guys from North Carolina play different than the guys from, Texas. And the Texas guys play different than the guys from the Michigan market. The Michigan, it's been really, I traveled a lot during my playing years and met a lot of people as a player, right? And when I played against somebody different from a different market, I didn't really pay attention to certain details, right? I just, hey, these players play like this. This is the way we play. We're taking advantage, right? We want to win. As a producer, it's a totally different world, right? Like when we're dealing with the clientele, it it's different personalities. It's different. Let me give you a prime example, right? Canada. Last year's Canada game. One of the things that I make a mission is making sure our games start out even, right? And not this bullshit 100, you got 100 warriors, they got 100 farmers. No. We make sure these games are as even as possible from the start. What you do with those players afterwards is your job, right? You're a commander, you're a general. What you do with your guys, that's on you. But I spend usually the week going up to the event making sure I'm calling guys, asking guys to move over if the sides are uneven, stuff like that, to make sure these events are even, right? Canada, we were pretty close to even. The numbers weren't really skewed too much. We didn't have to change a lot of people for that event. The one general, her house caught on fire a couple of days before the events, right? Yeah, yeah. So, and she still came out. Like she was there, right? Which kudos to her, right? Um, her team, her team, one of the guys on her team were getting married. So like 90% of her team was at the wedding, right? Because half of them were in the wedding, right? So she lost tons of her warriors from the beginning, right? The game was even, but the type of players weren't quite as even as they should have been, right? And then Drew on the other side, he's he's like a speedball guy magnet, right? Like he knows all the speedball teams. So he just had killers, right? He just had the aggressive speedballers on his side. And they were only going to be there for Saturday. We know that, but they were super aggressive. So the game kicks off, and I don't know, 30 minutes, like 30 minutes in, there's the one side spawn camped. Like they just housed them, right? And a lot of her players went to the back of the field. They didn't protect the front, so there was a little bit there. But his guys just housed her, right? No bitching, no complaining, no yelling and screaming. Drew saw what happened. By the time it got to me, it was already fixed. Like he literally went out, was like, he went to his guys, pulled all his guys back, and was like, we're not going past here. Let them go to there, and made the game even. And after about an hour or so, it never happened again. You know what I mean? But he took it upon himself to do it. You know what I mean? Because it was a different mentality. He just wanted a fun game.
Yeah.
Um, and uh, Ed Bolton down in South Carolina, he actually when we could probably spend the whole show talking like there's a sainthood award for commanders now that Ed's face is on for the amount of selflessness that he put into that South Carolina event to make sure everybody had fun. Um, but like when we go to Texas, the Texas guys, those guys have a mission mentality that I have never seen anywhere else, where they dissect everything. If you say red, they're asking what shade of red. If you say blue, they're asking what shade of blue. You name it, they're asking a question about it. Every detail, everything, um, and the same type of people. Like we had our original general for that event back out. He had some family issues, so he had to back out. And instead of everybody bitching, the general and the XO talked amongst each other and said, "Look, hey, I'm willing to command the other side." As the XO was willing to go command the other side and be the commander. We worked it out. All the teams that we recruited together, we're going to split them 50-50. So we're both starting in the same point, and then we're going to work together to make sure as we recruit the rest of them, we stay even.
Right.
And things like that you don't see everywhere, right? Those guys stepped up and basically took a huge piece off of my plate that I don't have to worry about. And they did it for the betterment of the game. You know what I mean? So seeing those guys in different fields is crazy, dude. It's just crazy, especially on the producers end. On the players end, you're playing and there's no shame in my game, I guess you can say. When I command to win. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I'm winning this game, right? These guys are different. They're different. They are about having a good event, growing the events, and it's great, dude. It's been really eye opening to some of these guys that I've known for some time, but not in this capacity. You know what I mean? Because it's a different world when you're talking producer player opposed to player.
Yeah. The last time I XO'd a game was at Red versus Blue, and we had every flag taken from. Shout out to TJ. What's up, TJ? Anyway, we took every flag from him, and like Jason Mann got on the radio and was like, "Hey, we should back off because the other team's not having any fun." And my exact words were, "Hey, Jason, shut the f up." Like I was not there to make sure the other team had fun. I was there to make sure Flip won. That was my only mission. Like
Yeah.
you're there to have fun. You're gonna have fun somehow.
I understand that, Ben, but I would say that if you're taking command, yes, you're a command of a side, but you're also there to make sure everyone has a good time that weekend.
That's the producer. That's the producer.
There can be a gentleman's agreement, like Rob and myself and other people. It's like, hey, man, give you like 10 minutes for spawn camp. All right, pull your people back.
Nope.
It's better for overall for the game, and you don't want it to be people just spawn camp and then people are pissed, and half the people don't come back next year. That's just not helpful.
I've nailed on the head.
Yeah. If you ask me to command,
but I mean, you got your win. Then what?
I'm there to beat the dog shit out of the other team, but it's the producer's job to come in there and be like, hey, can you guys not do that? If the producer asks, hey, can you guys not do that? Then we won't do that. But until that point, it's going to be, I'm going to pound it into you.
That's how it works. Controlled by us, the players. I think
for instance, the game I produced, it was happening at one of my games where one team was just totally dog walking the other team, and I had a plan called, "Hey Tim, go fix it." And
yeah, that was
also a different game. I had a plan called, "Hey Lomax, go fix it," and Lomax fixed it. But Tim went above and beyond, and he got covered in paint a lot, but he fixed it for me.
First strikes through my mask. I had holes in my mask. See, people don't think about that little plastic fucking cup. I'm sorry, but that little plastic cup that's going 280 feet per second behind it. That shit's that eventually goes to your fucking mask.
Yeah.
Well, you were getting shot so much, it was just like, oh man,
I got shot a fucking lot.
But like,
he's like, hey, the spawn camp, get them out of there. Okay, here's your stick. The aliens are what, invincible? Go kill people. Okay.
So like, I think like that is it's commander versus commander, commander's team versus commander's team. But I think also it's a little bit battle of commander versus producer. The producer needs to step up, make it better. Like,
okay, so let me clear that statement up for me. When you say against the producer, like, what do you mean by that? Like,
so
you mean in the gray area?
No. I mean, like, the producer's job is everybody come out, shoot paint, so the field and producer make money, make the players happy, so they have a good time, and they come out next year. But the commander's job should be to win the game. So if my idea of winning the game is just completely spawn trapping the other team, then that's where it shouldn't be. It should be my responsibility as commander to be like, oh, we'll back off so everybody has fun. It should be the producer's job to be like, hey, one team's getting spawn trapped. I should probably step in and stop that from happening. So I think the producer should be part of the game.
No, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. You're absolutely right. That the with you missed one part of that though. Uh, the commander's role is there to win the game, right? That's your job. Like you're there to win, right? But you're also there to before the game even starts. You should have that mentality of I'm here to win, so I need to recruit players to win, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
that's one of the biggest things. And I noticed that before I started producing the CPX events, uh, we were having like I was seeing that problem with commanders. When I was helping DJ in the background, when I was, Tim knows, um, it was commanders wanted to command, but they didn't want to work. They didn't want to do the recruiting. They didn't want to do the phone calls. They would put their picture up and say, "I'm commanding," and expect players to play for them. And I learned early on in my career, like, hey, if I want you to play for me, I need to call and ask you. Even though you're a friend of mine, we always play together. You got my back, I got your back. It's common courtesy and respect. Like, hey, I know you're making this event. I just want to double check and make sure you playing for me. You playing for me? Yeah. All right. I can mark you down. I got you. Right. But give that courtesy, right? Guys don't give that courtesy anymore. They're like, oh, I've
No.
won 5 games. I'm a great commander. And then they put their picture up. I'm commanding this event. Come play for me. Okay. Well, and then they get mad when they don't have players playing for them, or they get mad when their quote unquote teams that supported them for the other events don't support them for that event. Well, the other commander asked them, like literally asked them. That's all you had to do. So the commander's role is to recruit and is to win. That's your
Yeah.
job. The producer's job is to make sure everybody has a good time, to make sure the game is running the way it's supposed to run, to make
Yeah.
sure uh, guys aren't cheating. Guys are getting stuff fixed. You know, not just sitting in the back corner counting the money they're making, right? Like that's a half-ass producer, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
think that I think producers can have things that they can pull and put into the game too. Say like you can pull a secondary respawn point, or airdrop people that that you could incorporate things. Producers to have something available, so if there is a spawn camp, there's a way for people to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's be honest, once you get spawn camp, it's pretty damn hard to get out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
You gotta have
go
backups.
ahead.
You gotta have a backup to a
So
back.
here goes something. Again, I hate giving out all the missions, right? So the mini missions that we have, you can win airdrops, right? So when you go do the mini missions, you're able to win, I believe it's 2 airdrops a day, right? And you don't have to use them that day, right?
Right.
You can
Exactly.
use them whenever you want, but you win an airdrop card, right? So hey, you getting spawn camped. You go get your 15 guys, go get your 20 guys, whatever the airdrop allows, and we're going to drop you at this spot, and that flag is your insertion for 20 minutes. Boom. You know what I mean? Again, it's I people always go like during the events, they're like, man, that was a really good idea. I go, yeah, that's because it happened to me. You know what I mean? Or, I was in an event and I saw this happen and I didn't like it. So now we put something in place so that doesn't happen. Right.
Yep.
Or we do so about a week after each event, every player that registered for the event and played gets an email survey from us. We send out a 10-question survey. There's a couple of open questions there where you're able to write down stuff and type in stuff or whatever. But we send it out to everybody. And we found that the people that respond have legitimate issues, right? Like there's actual stuff that we can improve on, and we've made those changes. We've made those changes literally from one event to the next one that fast. And dude, it's simple stuff. Like we look at it and go, we can fix that for tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like that's nothing. And we make the change. We make the adjustment. Um, and it's been really cool. And there's been a couple of guys that made multiple events, and we tell them like, yo, that was your idea right there. Like that you took you when you brought that to us, we really thought about it, and we were like, we can make that work and make that happen, and we appreciate that. You know what I mean? And we make the change. Again, like Ben said, the producer's job is to throw a good event,
Mhm.
and like I think that's one of the reasons your event those was so well done, because when you did your event, you did it from a player's perspective. You made it everything that you didn't like about other events, you tried to fix at your event. And I think that's why everybody liked the event so much, because they can relate to the event better, right? It makes it more fun. um,
Mhm.
so I'm trying to do similar things like that. And as a team, we're doing the same stuff. That's why, when you say your position, we collaborate. Like we all put things in. Like Christy's missions, she writes them all, she does them all that stuff. And then, you know, there's a couple of us that'll go through the mission and try to pick it apart, right? So I'll go through the missions and figure out the loopholes on how I would get around doing these missions, or how I would figure out how to make that, win that mission without doing everything or whatever. Um, and then I give her all that information, and she tweaks that mission out so to make it so there's no loopholes. So for the
Yeah.
guys, for the Tim players, that there's always some loopholes.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Oh, a
mean,
gray area,
it's
Joe.
yeah, the gray. We try to get rid of the gray, right?
Look, I,
Um,
I usually ask very specific questions. How
yep.
you choose to answer those, that's not on me. I'm asking you very
And
specific questions.
you're so it's funny. It's funny, right? So I got two things on that, right? Um, we you, we both know very specific questions, right? You didn't specifically say I couldn't do this. So we do different commander battles, right? We It's a 3-day event.
Right.
CPX was always a 3-day event. You're playing on Friday. We do free open play. If you register for the event, you can play rec ball. We do the mag fed pump. The commanders actually have to play, right? So one of the commanders event games that we do is we do Rocket Wars. And I'm not sure if TJ is still on here. I don't see the comments, but they supply us with rockets, Nova rockets, and we do Rocket Wars 5-on-5. You're shooting the players with the rockets, dude. It's fucking dodge. It's dodgeball rules. If you catch the rocket, the other player's out. You get to keep and shoot the rocket. If you get shot, dude, fun as shit. Fun as shit. We lower the rockets down a little bit.
I was gonna say,
240
look,
ish.
you dialed it back a little bit.
Well, 240 is just kind of where the number's at. We found the sweet
Okay.
spot. But, I've been shot in the face at 280. Varno shot me right in the noses. Dude, split my nose open. Um, but yeah, so we do that. And we did for Virginia. I went on the commanders chat, and I told them the commanders battle is 3-on-3, limited paint, one pod one pod per game. I'm sorry, I said one hopper. One hopper per game. That's the text message. 3-on-3, limited paint, one hopper per game. What would you take from that, Tim?
The the biggest hopper I could bring.
Right? I didn't say one hopper per player.
Hmm.
I said one hopper per game. So they all get there. Everybody got a hopper, this, that, the other. No. Here goes the hopper. And I gave him a little head start, let them know ahead of time. You know what I mean? I get like an hour before the game started so they can figure it out. One guy was smart enough to go get a fucking V2 and pop
Yeah.
it open to fill that hopper, right? The other ones are trying to figure out, like, well, who's going to hold the hopper? Who's going to do this? No, take the fucking hopper, split that bitch apart. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah. So we do play word games. I play word games, but we for the missions and stuff, we've made it. There's always somebody out there that knows something, right? So but we try to limit it. One of the other things we did with that, again, we all players, right? We all know the little tricks and the little shadiness stuff people do. So I reiterate it over and over again during the announcements, during the commander's briefing, all that stuff. If we catch a the opposing player with any prop from the opposite team that they're not supposed to have, you lose the points for that mission, and the other team automatically gets those points. So we were having issues with certain guys that would take the water. Like we had these missions where there was like a water bag that had filled water and all this stuff. They would take the water bag and take it back to their camp, and then take the other team's water bag that was next to there, because we would put them both next to each other, and take that one back to their camp. And we had to put that rule in place. Like, dude, we kept telling the guys. I caught 3 different commanders red-handed cheating, right?
Mhm.
And again, we all push the envelope, right? We want to win. But when you're stealing the other team's props and now they can't find the props, that's not fun for the other team, right? That's not fun for the players running around trying to play the game. So that slap on the wrist bullshit, it doesn't solve anything, right? There's no consequences to it. We've all sat outside and heard other players talking how they went and hid this prop and did this and did that and laughed about it, right? Because they don't care about the effort in that mission. They just worry about winning. So we put shit in place, and trust me, I took 200 points from one of the commanders caught red-handed. He was super pissed. But after the event, he understood. He was fine. Like, he wasn't mad at me forever. He was mad at me at the moment because he got caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again,
As a commander who's had their points deducted, I understand.
yeah. Again, you know what I mean? But we've done things like that to try to help guys not have to worry about that stuff anymore, right? We want you worried about completing the missions because, again, we do some big missions. We're not just putting some paper plates out there. We got big ass Legos that weigh like 60 pounds that guys got to pick up. We got huge puzzles that guys got to carry around. We got all types of shit. So, you know what I mean? When somebody steals those props and hides them, it's fucked up. It's fucked up for the players that are trying to do those missions. So, you can do it if you want, but I have specific refs that we put in place that their job is literally to watch the props, and they go by the command stations, and check. Like, they just walk by looking, and you just think they're a regular ref, but they're looking for props. And that's how we catch guys. And again, it's a little more effort on the producer's part, but we want guys to have a good time. We don't want guys just out there just like Wild Westing stuff.
So if
So
you're going to move props at a CPX event, make sure you take your tape off, your color tape off, so that we don't know what you're on.
Or what you can do is put it in your pocket and then take it home and put it in your little stand back here beside your like really expensive masks.
Oh, you got an Archangel collection back there?
Christy
let's
gives out some of those props to the players. You can get some props
yeah,
at the next event.
yeah, that's what I do in my games. Like we one of the guys worked at PBC one year. He made because we did an Infinity War themed game, and he made the Infinity Stones. And like,
oh yeah, those were cool.
The kid, when they picked them up, they were very excited about them. And then when they found out that like, all they had to do was show it to the referee, and they got to take it home, the kids about peed their pants apparently because they love taking props home. But
Yeah.
let's go back to your whole thing about the generals and commanders not doing their job anymore, because like that's something that it's a hot point right now, especially for me. All three of us produce games. We understand this shit. It's a lot to do because even like as a producer, I've already hit up a bunch of teams and asked them to come to my game. I haven't asked them to play for a certain team, certain side or anything, but like I remember back in the day, let's say pre-COVID days, because I think COVID kind of is the kickoff point for this. Where like whenever you were commanding a game, I saw your post just about every day on Facebook. Like, hey, I'm
Mm-hmm.
commanding a game. You would get like multiple people that were playing for sides hitting you up. Hey, are you coming to the game? You coming to this game? Blah blah blah. What kind of, how do you want to play? We got a spot for you. And then like every podcast that does anything with paintball would always have these people on there. Like, and even if your podcast was like only reaching 4 or 5 people, it was
Like
4
us.
or 5 people. Yeah, it was those 4 or 5 people that like got to see it, and like it was 4 or 5 more people that would see it than like wouldn't normally see it. So you were volunteering, like you were calling up people that had shows, like, hey, can I be on your show? Can I do this? And you would see these commanders like all over Facebook all the time. And now it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, you want to be a commander for it? Yeah, cool. All right, cool. That's it. And they don't really put the effort in, and like it's part of the reason why you show up to a game and you've got 30 players on your side, and the other side's got 200. You've got
Mm-hmm.
one side has all the mission based teams, all the teams that are going to like really go out there and like the speedball teams they're all on one side. It's one side stacked. The other side has nobody. It's because you didn't contact people. You didn't put the effort in. When you accept the general role or commander role, normally in games you get to play for free, and some of the games give you like a free case of paint or whatever, and then some of them actually, if you command a game, you're free entry for life.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a reason why you get compensated like that, because a lot of times you're expected as a commander to put the effort in to get more players to play for you, and I don't think the younger generation understands that anymore. Like nobody, I don't think anybody. I wouldn't say that nobody taught them that, but like it's almost like nobody taught them that, or they just don't really see the benefit of it.
Are you saying they like the idea of being a commander, but not so much the work involved?
They like the idea of being known. How about that? Like a lot of people see like certain people come to games, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And people say hey to them, like, and everybody knows certain people. There's groups of people in paintball that like can go to any field in a region, and everybody's going to know them. And I think some of these younger guys, they see that and they want to be that, but they don't either understand that you had to put the effort in, or they don't understand like what the effort is. Like you have to actually go out and do the work. You can't just show up. I'm general. You should know me. I'm paintball famous now. I think somewhere during the COVID times, it got lost. Like the whole art of being a general got lost, and that's why some of these games that deserve to have 250 plus players have 100 players.
Well,
And then
maybe we failed them, Ben, because they don't have mentors to show them how to be proper commanders. Like I had a mentor. I'm sure you had a mentor. People that helped bring them up. The OGs, if you will. Maybe now
And
the guys
that's
just go out on their own and just don't really know where to go, how to do it.
Dwan just said, and this is why he doesn't command anymore, because being a good recruiter, you should punch. Yeah, because if you get the best players, they get taken away from you, which Tim knows all about. But also, Dwan doesn't command games anymore because he's really old, and old people just you got bedtimes at like 4 p.m. and the game's still going on. It's just there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, like I say, it's one of those things where like I say, it's part of the thing. Commanders have to actually put in the effort because it's part of the game. Like you need to, and then that's the whole thing earlier. I was saying it's producers versus commanders because like that commander's going to like try to stack his side, and he's or their side. How about I'll be politically correct. The commander's going to try to stack their side to where I'm gonna protect my because I want to protect my record of not losing games. So I'm recruiting all the best teams. I'm recruiting all the teams that are going to missions. I'm gonna recruit all the teams that know how to hit hard. And then at the end of the game, at the end of the day, like, oh, by the way, the other general didn't recruit hardly anybody, so we need to take some of your players away from you. And if you've already discussed game plans with these teams, now they know your game plan and they're going to use it against you. So
this sounds very familiar. I feel like this.
Yeah,
I feel like this happened.
Very, very, very familiar. Where
that was really familiar. Like, wait, we just had him in the chat. Damn it.
Like, wait. You know our game plan, and now you're going to play the other team. But to be fair, Tim really didn't do a lot of recruiting for that game. He just sat there and answered phone calls. Like, hey, I heard you're general, and you're a better option than the guy that's on the general team.
First off, I'll go on record. That was probably the most work I've ever done ever for a whole year leading up to an event. So no, it wasn't just answering phone calls. That was actually a lot of work.
It was just funny sitting at a table across from somebody. I'm like, hey, the other general just hit me up once we play for him.
That did happen. Then we said a little salty of us together.
That's true. Hey. Not happening, brother.
Nah, but you hit the nail. Like both of you guys hit the nail on the head on it. That like it's exactly what it is. Something I wanted to touch on there that you said, Ben. You know, and it's perspective for me, right? You said, some producers give you a free case of paint, they give you free registration, they give you this, that, the other, for you doing it. And I tell people all the time, I'm not giving you anything for free. This is your payment for the job you're taking, right? You're going to command, and I'm giving you that $150 of registration and paint, or or whatever it is for you doing it, right? It's a transaction at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And guys, I remember when I used to produce years and years ago my Boardwalk Empire game. I bluntly had that conversation with one of the generals. His own team didn't come to the event. Like he didn't. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know they were playing another event. They had a speedball game and this and that." I'm like, "So you didn't even you've known you were going to command this game for a year, and you didn't even tell your own team like you were recruiting." And then he came up. He was like, "Oh, where's my free case of paint?" I was like, "You didn't earn it. You don't get it." And he goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "You didn't recruit, so you get registration. Fuck you." Like, you know what I mean? Again, and this was back in I think it was like '08. Might have been like '08 or whatever. But, it's a dick shit. But one of the things, and touching base on what Tim said about mentors, he's absolutely right. And it's a two-part thing there, though, right? There's a lot of guys nowadays, like Ben said, that want to be famous. They want to be on top. They don't want to take guidance from anybody. You know what I mean? They join a team. They want to be the boss, so they leave the team. They start their own team so they can be the boss. And you can't tell them shit because they know everything, right? And then they figure out they don't. And Tim will testify to this. This is why the 13th is the way it is. Like you can't just take a command. Like if you want to command, you got to command a small game. You got Legion command. You got to do this. You got to do that. And you work behind the guys that were commanding until you work your way up to command a bigger event. And that's like, if you look at how many guys from the team commanded and how they commanded and how we operated those command roles, everybody was mentored from somebody above. Like, you learned from the other guys. Um, you don't have that like that anymore. You don't have that humility of wanting to learn from somebody else. And I don't say everywhere, because I found it in some places with some players, they want to learn how to command. Um, and we've been trying to do, uh like right now, for the dreaded, I've been trying to find another 17 or 18-year-old, because we want to do a young gun commander, but we don't want like a 12-year-old where the real commander is their dad. We want somebody that's been playing, and they want to command, they want to learn, and they learn on a small stage, right? So we're trying to do things to combat that. And then, to go back to the paint and registration and stuff, uh every there was tools when we commanded, that were allotted to me to allow me to do certain recruiting, right? Paint deals, registrations, stuff like that I negotiated, right? We negotiated those terms and we used them to recruit players, right? So one of the things we did at CPX was we took out the backdoor deals, right? We put it on the table. So when you come and you want to command, so once we pick the commanders, all the command staff gets the same email that shows, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to go on this many podcasts. You're supposed to, we're going to supply you with flyers. You're supposed to share the flyers X amount of times. You're supposed to do this, that, the other. Here goes the paint deal. And with this paint deal, you get this, this, and this. And these are the terms. And you use that to recruit. So, we give the command staff a paint deal that they all know about, both sides. So one side isn't using it and one side isn't. You can choose not to use it if you don't want to, and you don't want to do the work. But it's the same paint deal that I was getting, when I was commanding, and I was using to recruit all the players, right? So I give that openly to all the commanders so they can use that and they can recruit. And then on top of that, if y'all noticed, for like from Black Friday till I think we extended it to the end of January. We were doing 15% discount codes that we let all the commanders know, like, hey, here goes your chance. Get your guys recruited, 15% off everything, paint, registration, the whole 9 yards. So you can use that to recruit. So we're giving monetary incentives to help the guys recruit. They just got to use them. They're there to
Yeah.
be used. You know what I mean? And you know, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make them drink. And that's the problem we're having with a lot of these commanders. And without going down, certain things that just people just don't want to learn from anybody. They just they,
Yeah.
they just want to do what they want to do, and then if you try to guide them, you know what I mean? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Pretty
what I
much,
mean?
like, yeah, it's that whole mentality of I know better than you, even though I've never done it before. But
Yeah.
like I don't I know for my games I let the generals play for free, or commanders. Well, they exchange their services to play. I comp their entry. I don't comp entry for future games unless they do something crazy. Like there's at least two. Okay, well Tim always gets them for free because he did some wild ridiculous shit one time. But like
Mm,
there's two other people that I've actually told them, as long as I produce a game, you're playing for free, because they did some ridiculously stupid shit in a game that, like, you know when they did it, people talked about it.
yeah.
And you know, they did some shit. They went above me, like Cupcake, his big ass, like running into a bunker by himself, like sliding in there and shit, and getting lit the fuck up. I'm like, you know what? You did that, and people saw it, and they tried to like copy you. So you did something that, like, you want people to see. So and then Eric Bryant, they just happen to be on the same team. You know, he made the final battle. Like people were watching the final battle and being like, why is this final battle going so long? Why are they doing this for? Like
It was
why are they torturing?
the speedballers were watching. Were like, what the fuck is wrong with these scenario players?
Like you could like after 15 minutes of the final battle, you could see everybody got real uncomfortable, and then they still had 15 minutes left. Like it was torture. But like I was like, dude, I was like, you were doing like everything. Like I wish that everybody would have done that game. Like you got shot out and you went back and started again. Like every time, like you go out and touch the flag, then you start again. Like it's and like when people see it, they want to do it. Some people want to do it, and it makes the game more fun. So I give them free entry for life just because.
I will say, since we're winding it down, but for anyone who does want to command, I would recommend just spending some time in the command tent, just hanging out, just kind of seeing how it goes. There's especially like North Carolina area, there's a lot of good commanders still out there. A lot of guys that aren't even command, they're just running tents for people. Just go hang out there, and you'll learn a lot, man.
Yeah. Or you like Joey Cassidy did at Red versus Blue one year. Like we don't have XOs or unit commanders at Red versus Blue. It's just general versus general. But we still set up, general. We still had our own XO and unit commander just because that's how we did it. And what he did was he was on radio with Jason Mann, who didn't really officially have a role in the game, but he was still out there to help out. And he was on radio with me and Flip, and like he actually got to learn from Flip and I. Aside from one hiccup at a game where we don't speak of, we're undefeated every game we pair up at. So he actually got to like be on radio, and at certain points we were like, do what you want to do. I was like, if you know what the objective is. You've been listening to us all day with doing the objective. Do what you're gonna do, and if he did right, we let him do it. But if he was going to like for me, he was going to let up. I was like, no. I was like, just keep pounding. And he actually learned a little bit, and like he's getting ready to step into a. Well, he was XO at the Charleston game, at the CPX game in Charleston, and now he's stepping up to be general at my game in June. So he's actually kind of doing it the right way. He's been a unit commander at Folder Gap for a couple of years now too. So he's actually doing it the right way. He's I think he kind of wanted to, he's one of those guys that wanted to like jump start the whole thing. Like he wanted to go straight from like playing to be like general and everything. But I think like he had enough people talk to him, like Flip and Jason. Enough people talk to him like, hey, do it this way instead.
Yeah.
And now this is his first game as general, and we're gonna see what he does as general. Like and if he wins, that's gonna be great. If he loses, we're gonna see how he takes the loss. Like maybe he'll take the loss and bounce back from it. So
yeah, and again, you're not gonna win every game, right? I think that's one of the biggest things of commanding is everybody can take a win and be happy. Is when you take that loss, how do you take it? Do you blame the producer? Do you blame them? They cheated, this, that, the other. They stole this, they stole that. Or do you just go, you know what? They outplayed me and I lost, right? I let my foot off the throttle and I lost. Owning that loss is more important than just, blaming everybody else. You're the commander. Yeah. If you win, you're saying you won because you commanded. So when you lose, take the same ownership. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And, again, it's learning from other people, dude. Like I said, if you watch 10 different commanders command and you take a little bit from every one of those commanders, you can figure out your own system and what works for you. Because the way one person commands, the other person isn't going to command. And what works for one person doesn't work for the other person. For me, I always preached, get a field commander and a tent commander. Some people can't stay in a tent; they go crazy, right? like me and Dewan. When me and Dewan were tag teaming, like if Dewan's in a tent for too long, he's like a restless animal. He needs to get out. Like he needs to go. Like he can't sit still, right? So, but if he's on the field, he'll push the line anywhere it needs to go. He'll move the guys. He'll you know what I mean. He's a great field commander, right? But in the tent, he needs to get out. He needs to go. He needs to move. Uh, you know, I can sit in the tent and I can do either one, right? So I can sit in the tent and figure out the moves. So
Yeah.
whenever we commanded together, you know, he took the field, I took the tent, and we made it work. Um, and there's a lot of tag teams like that out there that understand each other's strengths and weaknesses to make them a winning team. And as a
Yeah.
commander, when you take that role, that's the first thing you need to do is self-evaluate yourself and go, okay, what's my weaknesses? Okay, well, you know, people don't this, or I'm not good at that or whatever. And now you go choose an XO that has those strengths. So your XO can help you win, right?
Yep.
Uh, you know, that was always a recruiting trick for me is like, hey, if I'm going to a different state, I'm going to find the biggest, strongest team there, and I'm going to ask them to XO for me. You know what I mean? That way I automatically have a base, you know,
Yep.
because now I'm coming with X amount of players, but I already have this many players there, and they're going
Yeah.
to bring other players there. Right? Guys don't think about that. They're just like, oh, well, I'm going to get my teammate the XO. So both of you guys are fishing in the same pond.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like, you're wondering why you only have 30 players. Like,
And then,
Right.
and then on top of that is like you got to know who's strong at what. Like there are people that show up to games that just want to run comms. Like
mhm.
like old Chris Moles, I think it's he's Werewolf. His team would come out and they would not play paintball, but like they would have their own little command center. They have monitors and like different people on radios with like, you know, this person was in charge of this group, this person in charge of this group. Like it was, and you would listen to them. Like they knew where everybody was at all times. And
Yeah, that's why I got Popeye.
yeah, or
That you
even
got what?
Mama, Baba.
Yeah, I got
Oh,
I got
yeah.
Popeye. Yeah, Popeye Road
Yeah.
Patriots to run, you know, comms, and then you
Yeah.
get the Road Patriots, and they're a great mission team. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
Or you hit up Mamba. Mama can run your
Right.
comms for you. Like
Yeah.
there's certain people out there that can run comms for you.
Yeah, just get
And
Mamba 12 pack of natural light. He'll be fine. You know,
a
comfy
lot
chair.
a lot of people don't understand it.
And that's, again, that's part of that mentorship that y'all talked about. You know what I mean? That's the stuff you learn along the way. Like, hey, when you start recruiting, where are you recruiting at? Who are you asking, right? You know, Popeye knew right off the bat, if I was commanding in North Carolina, Bones and Ash, you know, he was getting the phone call. And he was all,
Right.
I got you. You know what I mean? But he got that phone call. I don't do comms. I don't worry about comms. You know what I mean? I'm not a comm guy, right? I'm a strategist. You know, so you when you start recruiting, hey, if you're a strategist, find the gunners, bring them on. Start picking all the pieces all the pieces for the chessboard that you're going to need, and then let them bring all the pawns into the chessboard. Because again, like Tim said, you bring in Popeye, you automatically get Rogue Patriots. So now you got a mission team. Wow, look how that just worked. You recruited one guy and you got 10, right?
Mhm.
Guys don't think about that anymore, and they don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? When people tell them that.
You know, that's why you get your hitters. You know, you bring in Infectious or Timber Ghost or whatever. You know, you bring in some people who don't mind doing a little dirty work. So you call Venom up, you know, because they'll do some questionable things for you.
Yeah.
Questionable things to be done. I mean, everyone has to have a role.
Yep.
And
100%.
That's why some games get 100 players or less, and then you don't see that game the next year. It's because the commanders just don't put the work in. And like the biggest travesty that I see every year is Gangster's Paradise. It's, I think the most players it's ever has like 125 players, but every player you talk to is like, oh, it's the best game I've been to. It's best game. And then when Jason comes out and says, well, this is the last year, like, well, we need to do it next year. We need to do it next year. Do it. Well, what are you doing to make it where it's worth Jason doing it next year? Because it's a lot of work. Like he's
Hmm.
doing a lot. He's doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes to get it happening. But like, where's the payoff? Like, if he's doing all that work, why aren't you recruiting more people to play? Like, if I guarantee you that if that game saw 250 players or more this year, we can convince him to do it next year. But
Mm,
if that game once again is less than 150 players, it's going to be a lot harder to convince him to do it.
yeah,
And
no,
yeah, it's not just his job to recruit people. It's the commander's job to do it also. And I
yeah,
think
no,
yeah, it's one of those hard things where like as a producer you can only do so much. Like
no, yeah, absolutely,
and
and
then
that
also
sucks. But I hear a lot of good things about that event.
oh yeah, it's great. It's a great game. It would be great. It would be better with more players. Like it'd be awesome with
Yeah,
more players. It doesn't get them because it's just there's really no reason either. It's in a great time of the year. It's not August like his games in August used to get more players, but it was just a bad time to do it because in the South in August you're going to die. We
yeah,
almost died
Yeah, it's hot.
like every year. We almost died, but it's just yeah, it's one of those things where make I don't know. Some of these guys just and then some of them just they take any position, any command position ever offered to them, and then they spread themselves thin. It's like so the big games, the 500 players plus games, you don't really need to do that game plus 6 other 200 player games every year. You know, you need to focus on that one game so that you know that you bring your best to it. You know, but there's some guys out there or some players out there, they general 7 times a year. And it's
mm,
just if you're general 7 times a year, yeah, you're looking good. You know, you're building your resume up and you're looking good and you're people know who you are, but like you're not putting in the effort for that one game. You know,
yeah, no,
you you could have had a better game that one game. So it's
yeah,
just there's a lot. It's just everybody wants to be famous. I think that's the problem. And I don't know, but yeah. And then once you get famous and everybody starts knowing who you are, and they start yelling your name at the field, asking you to do stupid stuff, it gets a little rough. Yeah, it's just like I say, just I don't know. It got lost somewhere. I think I blame COVID. I think we can blame
I,
COVID for everything.
I blame social media.
Yeah, social media is a bad one.
Everybody
Social
wants a TikTok. Everybody wants a YouTube. Everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants, you know what I mean? You spend more time worried about your social media than playing the events. You worry
Yep.
about, your exposure, you know, more than anything. And again, I sound like an old man, but it is what it is. Like, I don't know. Takes the fun out
Oh
of
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah, I am old. I am old. But
Well,
I think that was always for me, the people that know me know that was always the worst part of commanding was having that exposure. Like I
oh yeah.
never wanted that exposure. Like I didn't. That isn't what drove me. Winning drove me. Recruiting drove me. But to be, I don't know. I didn't want everybody to
Yeah.
know my name. I like being in the shadow.
We can tell.
Yeah. It happens. So I guess
We can't
since
see
we're
you
reaching
right now.
since we're reaching a 2 hour mark, I guess we can. And Rachel's probably gonna be home in a minute to beat Tim.
Oh, she's already home. She's already home. But I was
Oh,
going to read off the upcoming events, Ben. That way, you know.
well, well, let's hand this off to Tim so he can help round us out for today.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead since we are hitting this. Normally, I do this at the hour mark, but I told you, man, Joe's a talker. This will fly right by.
My
So,
bad.
upcoming events: April 10th through 12th is going to be a CPX event. They call it Bones and Ashes. You might have just realized we talked about that not that long ago. Outdoor Extreme 7 Points in Texas. April 18th and 19th, Ohana Paintball Domination Aftermath at Last Camp Paintball. That's Hobart, Indiana. April 25th to 26th is Gangsters Paradise Command Decisions War Game Center. And then May 2nd and 3rd is a Guru game. It's Heist at Sherwood Forest. So those are the upcoming events. Go
Yeah,
play
and
paintball.
if you go to
Guru's been
Gangsters
doing some
Paradise,
really. Have you guys played any of the Guru's games with his electronics and stuff?
I
No,
haven't played any of his games. I saw when he first started getting into it, and yeah, messing with that whole the IDs and scanning and all that stuff. That was really cool.
we're
Yeah,
going.
it puts a different spin on the events, dude. Like,
Yeah, I think
and he's tweaked
Ben's
out
one of
some stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I spoke to him a while back, and he was tweaking some stuff and making it better and all that stuff. Him and Alan and them, and you know, it adds a real different element. It's and all the paintball bullshit politics, kind of put a stain on their events and stuff. You know what I mean? Just out of sheer hate. Instead of giving that stuff a chance, and it's some really cool shit. I I get in his ear every so often. I'm trying to get him to do a night event in Texas. This is my sideways of putting him on blast right now. I'm trying to get him to do a night event because we have lights at Texas, and we got the field gets lit up and everything. We got like 30 big ass spotlights on the field, and his tech would work phenomenal for a night event. You know what I mean? And we want to bring back an old school 24-hour event like they used to have back in the day at that field.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm winding him down. I hit him up every couple of months and try to pick at him.
Well, I just want to say, like, if anybody's a gamer and they're really upset that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be released in like the summer of 2045, instead of waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6, you can just play 2 Grand Theft Auto themed games back to back. You can play Gangster's Paradise, North Carolina, and then the next weekend you can go to Indiana to play Heist, and that will kind of help even out the feeling for Grand Theft Auto 6, which probably will never ever come out because so much stuff's going
Similar
on.
concepts, different flavors.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're going to play Gangster's Paradise, and then the next weekend we're going to play Gangster's Paradise, and then Thursday we're going to start heading towards Indiana. So it's gonna be a fun thing to do. So it's gonna be 2 unique games back to back.
That's awesome.
But yeah, anything else, Tim? You got anything else for this?
No, that's it. Just hate for all the haters. Paintball's like Baskin Robbins. There's all kinds of flavors, man. It's all right. Just because you don't like something, don't play it. That's all.
There you go.
Okay.
Final words, Joe.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I appreciate everybody out there. Come out to a CPX event.
All right. I say Bones and Ashes is not this weekend, but the one coming right behind us. And Tim and I'll be there. I think
Next
we're
week.
going to do a live.
I got to drive 20 hours to Ben Painter to Texas.
You ain't got to do it. You're the one that say, hey, you want to go? I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
so anyway,
I was like, come on, let's go. I want to go play with Chuck. And Joe was going to be there. I was like, I'll go see Joe.
I'm going to put on record right now. Tim asked me. I didn't ask Tim. So if Tim's trying to play a goal,
Rachel could not go. Rachel could not go. So I went to my backup. I called Gregory. He could not go either. So I went to my backup to the backup. So I called Ben.
We're going to pretend what you actually said was, man, I really want to go play paintball, and I asked Ben first thing. That's what really happened.
What I
That's what he told me. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? This will be a really fun event for me and Ben to go to. Ben, we should go. We've never been to play Texas. Let's go play Texas.
Exactly.
We can say, hey, it's another state we knocked off the bucket list.
There you go.
All right. Well,
CG.
I guess we're gonna call it a day. I'm gonna play my awesome video before we leave. I guess. No, but yeah. Everybody drive to Texas, play some Bones and Ashes. That'd be fun. We'll be out there. Tim and I'll be out there.
I'm the last Bones champ, so I kind of got to go.
Yeah, the last real Bones champ is there, so it'll be a good time. All right. Appreciate everybody watching, and we'll be back whenever. I don't know. And I guess we'll play
the. What? Quick question for the last Bones champ. What was that trophy you got for that Bones champ?
The trophy?
Where's your trophy at?
I gave it to the Headhunters.
You gave it to the Headhunters?
Yep.
I gave it. You win at CPX now. You get a nice big belt. You can wear it on the show.
Oh. Well, I got a big sign over here.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's right there, right back there.
I mean, I was part of the crew, but I didn't get anything. So yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
I did give my XL a Nova gun. That was Goya
well, so
though. Yeah, you love.
I didn't get anything. But anyway,
Enough.
all right. So appreciate everybody coming on. Appreciate everybody watching. We're gonna play this awesome cameo that Tim paid for, so it's just gonna stay there forever. And it makes even more sense because Vince McMahon's gonna be at WrestleMania. We all know it. Anyway, deuces.
Later.
He might.
This is the chairman of the board, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, wishing the bad guy, Ben Painter, and the entire 4W a very happy 3-year anniversary, even though they truly are a shit show. Okay, I said the thing you wanted me to say, you bearded Gastonian drunk ass. Now please turn off the damn recorder and untie me from this chair, because you promised to set me free.